Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of social science. I'm your teacher Kavita here to present and as well as to continue the next part from this lesson. As we know, we started this lesson in my first video, isn't it? Yes, that is post-independent of India. So, after independence of India, our country, India had faced a lot of problems. Post-independent in a sense, after independence of India. Then when we got freedom in the year 1947, August 15th. Here, due to a lot of sacrifice and difficulties and struggling, finally we got freedom from the British. One part, it's one of the joy for Indians and as well as one of the sad for. Because due to partition of the nation, it created so many problems in India. So that we call the post-independent India, it means after independent India, India had faced a lot of problems as we discussed so many concepts in my first video. First here, the partition of the nation, and next the integration of princess states, the damage of economical condition, and the forming of own constitution, and to protect from enemies, and as well as gender discrimination and the caste discrimination, and communal violence, refugee crisis, and the formation of new government. So these are all the concepts we discussed in previous class. Today I am with the next continue part from this lesson, that is post-independent of India. In today's session, we are going to learn on these main topics. Those are integration of princely states, just as we discussed in first video, very short we discussed in introduction part. So in integration, we are going to learn these three princely states. Those are Junagadh, Hyderabad and Jammu and Kashmir, and as well as Pondicherry, Goa, and reorganization of states based on the languages. So these are all the concepts we are going to learn in today's session. Let's start our class with the integration of princely states. How Indian princely states were joined to India. Here, when British left from India, at that time there were 562 Indian princely states were there. How many princely states were there? 562. So basically India was ruled by many dynasties, many princely states. Here, when British arrived to India, India came under British rule. Later on, lot of sacrifice and a lot of struggling, India got freedom in the year 1947, August 15th. And when British left from India, during that time, there were 562 Indian princely states were there in India. So apart from the partition India, they had kept three options for the Indian princely state. So dividing nation ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ British, they had given three options for Indian princely states. What they had given? One side, dividing the nation. Apart from the dividing the nation, apart from the partition of the nation, British had given three options for Indian princely states. Now, which are those options for Indian princely states? First here, joining India, joining Pakistan, or else remaining independent. These three options were given by British. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಭಾರತಕ್ಕಾದರೂ ಸೇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಕ್ಕಾದರೂ ಸೇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತ್ರೀ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೂ ಗಿವನ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್, ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ accession offered to Indian princely state to join into India. ಈ ಥರ ಮೂರು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಸೊ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. In that time, Indian government had given chance to Indian princes state through the instrumentation. It means the instrument of accession. ಅದೇ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗೌರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ accession ಟು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ದೇ ಗಿವನ್ ಆಫರ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಯಾರು ಭಾರತದ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಸೇರ್ತೀರಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಫರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಆಫರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಗಳು ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ತವೆ. And later on, in the 1971, these royalties and status were withdrawn. So most of the Indian princess states were joined to India, but except 3 Indian princess states, they are not at all ready to join to India. So as I told in the previous video, in my previous class, so there were 562. Among them, 559 Indian princess states were joined to India, but 3 Indian princess states, they are not at all ready to join to India. Then which of those? Now look at here, Junagadh, Hyderabad and Jammu and Kashmir. These 3 Indian princely states, they are not at all joined to India. Here, so later on, the Indian government had given chance to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to integrate these 3 Indian princess states. Finally, under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, was successful to integrate these 3 Indian princess states to India. ಈ 3 ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಸೇರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯ್ ಪಟೇಲ್. ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯ್ ಪಟೇಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಐರನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who is known as Iron Man of India, was successful to integrate 3 princess states to India. ಅವರ ನಾವು ಭಾರತದ ಉಕ್ಕಿನ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ 3 ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯ್ ಪಟೇಲ್. ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯ್ ಪಟೇಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಟು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ 3 main Indian princess states to India. That's why he is called Iron Man of India. So this is the concept about introduction, the how integration of princess state to India. The next move on here, how Junagadh to integrate to India. Yes, as I told now, these 3 Indian princess states, they were not at all ready to join to India. ಮತ್ತು ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ತವೆ? How Junagadh to integrate to India? How did Hyderabad to integrate India? How did Jammu and Kashmir to integrate India? ಹೀಗೆ ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸೇರ್ತವೆ. Yes, let us discuss now. First here, Junagadh. How Junagadh integrated to India. ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಜುನಾಗಢ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Yes, Junagadh. So as I told in the introduction, the 3 princess states were not at all ready to join with India. First here, Junagadh. Yes, Junagadh. The Nawab of this princess state had agreement with the states of Pakistan. It means the Nawab, Junagadh Nawab, he wanted to join with the Pakistan. So that the Nawab of this princess states had signed the agreement with the states of Pakistan. But his citizens revolted against the Nawab. ಅಂದರೆ ಜುನಾಗಢ್ ನವಾಬ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನ ಯಾರ ಒಂದು ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ಗೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಗಿವನ್ 3 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್, ಜಾಯ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಜಾಯ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್. ಬಟ್ the Nawab of Junagadh, he had an agreement with the states of Pakistan. It means his princess state wanted to join with the states of Pakistan, but his citizens, the Nawab of Junagadh citizens, revolted against Nawab, so that he ran away from the Junagadh. And the later Diwan, so Diwan of Junagadh had requested to Indian government to send military to implemented law and order in Junagadh. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಜುನಾಗಢ ನವಾಬ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳು ಅವನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ದಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದ ಲೇಟ್ ಶಾನ್ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿನವನು ಪಲಾಯನ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ. ದ ಲೇಟ್ ಶಾನ್ ದ ದಿವಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಜುನಾಗಢ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಜುನಾಗಢನ ದಿವಾನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ to send military and to implemented law and order. The late on in the year 1949, Junagadh joined with India. In the year 1949, so in the year 1949, Junagadh had joined to India. So this is Junagadh to integrated to India. The next move on Hyderabad. So Hyderabad also one of the problematic at least state, then not at all ready to join to India. Then how Hyderabad to integrated to India? ಹೇಗೆ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ, ಭಾರತದ ಒಂದು ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸೇರುತ್ತೆ? ಎಸ್, this princess state was ruled by Nizam, so that we call Hyderabad Nizam. So Hyderabad state was ruled by Nizam. So you wanted to become independent. Yes, that option was there among them, remaining independent. So Hyderabad princess state was ruled by Nizam. His aim, his intention to become an independent in order to join with the Pakistan and as well as India. ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೂ ಸೇರಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಕ್ಕೂ ಸೇರಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅವನ ಒಂದು ಏನೇನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರಿ, ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ an independent. The late on here, under the leadership of communist and as well as the farmers of the state, revolt against Nizam of Hyderabad, and the peoples were called a cruel army of Nizam, that is Rajakars. So here, when Nizam of Hyderabad had thought to become independent, that princess state people revolted against Nizam of Hyderabad, so that altogether under the leadership of communist and as well as the farmers of the state revolted against Nizam of Hyderabad, and the people were called a cruel army, that is Rajakars. So Rajakars, one of the cruel army, so it was under Hyderabad Nizam. They were exploiting the farmer people. ಅಂದರೆ ರಜಾಕಾರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಜನರ ಶೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So the people revolt against him, and later on the government of India sent a military force and to fight Hyderabad, and the later on finally Hyderabad Nizam and agreed to join to India in the year 1948. So when Hyderabad joined to India in the year 1948, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವನು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಜನರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ದಂಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಮ್, and later on the peoples also revolted against Rajakars. Rajakars one of the cruel army of Nizam, because they were exploiting the farmers, they were exploiting the people, so that they revolted against him. And later on the Indian government sent military to fight Hyderabad Nizam. Finally Hyderabad integrated to India in the year 1948 under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. That's why he is called Iron Man of India. ಅಂದರೆ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನ ಯಾರ ಒಂದು ನಾಯಕತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯ್ ಪಟೇಲ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ princess state to integrated to India. Next move on Jammu and Kashmir. How Jammu and Kashmir integrated to India. Here the king of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, was the king of Jammu and Kashmir. Hari Singh, he decided to remain independent. It means he not at all ready to join to India or Pakistan. Just he wanted to become an independent. Here the fearing that Kashmir they may join to India, who thought Pakistan. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹರಿಸಿಂಗ್ ತಾನು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್
ಏನು ಭಯ ಪಟ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತಾ ಏನೋ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಭಯ ಪಟ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ದ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಥಾಟ್ Kashmir may join to Indian Federation. At that time, Pakistan tribal Muslims to invite Kashmir to attack on Kashmir. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರು ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೇನೋ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. The tribal band of people occupied most of the area of Kashmir. So when they attacked on Kashmir, they occupied most of the area of Kashmir unless the king agreed to join India. ಯಾವಾಗ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಅವರು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಅಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅಕ್ಯುಪೈಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್. ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಟು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹರಿಸಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಟು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್. ಅವನು ಅಗ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಟು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್. ಫೈನಲಿ ಆನ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹರಿಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಟು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1947 ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್. ಅವನು ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವಾಗೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹರಿಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಫೈನಲಿ ಅವನು ಅಗ್ರಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹರಿಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಟು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇನ್ ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ 1947. ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಡ್ ದ ಇನ್ವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ದೆಮ್ ಔಟ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಯಿಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. At this situation, it was reported to UNO. But one part of the Kashmir remained with the Pakistan. One part. So India complained at UNO against the Pakistan on this issue, but UNO issued battle on January 1st, 1949. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಯಾರೋ ಒಂದು ಅಂಡರ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. The northeast part of Kashmir that was occupied by the Pakistan, that we call POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So which was the part, ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಅಂಡರ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ POK ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ occupied Kashmir. So this is about Jammu and Kashmir.
Next move on another topic, that is Pondicherry. Here in every, as I told in the introduction, only princely state to integrate India, this was the problem. But and in many states also, the problems were created after independent India. That is Pondicherry. The Pondicherry, as we know, we heard the name Pondicherry in the first lesson. So Pondicherry, it was one of the most important administrative center for French, isn't it? Yes. Then how Pondicherry had integrated to India? Here, after independent India, French had continued their whole power on Pondicherry, Karaikal, Mahe and Chandranagar. Even when India got the freedom, they had continued their power on those places. ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಫ್ರೆಂಚರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಪವರನ್ನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. So as we know, Europeans arrived to India as the traders. Later on, they captured few places, they established their trade centers. But after independence of India, when India got freedom, 1947 August 15th. So after that, French had continued their political power on Pondicherry, Mahe, Karaikal and Chandranagar. But later on here, many political parties like Congress, Communist and other parties want to them to become part of India. ಅವರು ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೂ ಕೂಡ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪವರ್ನ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗಳು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಂಡಿಚೇರಿನ ಫ್ರೀ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1954, Pondicherry was integrated to India, and later on Pondicherry became Union Territory in the year 1963. So, in the year 1954, Pondicherry was integrated to India. ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾರತದ ಒಂದು ಒಕ್ಕೂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಂಡಿಚೇರಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸೇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1954. The later on, Pondicherry became one of the Union Territory in the year 1963. ಅಂದರೆ 1963 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಕೇಂದ್ರಾಡಳಿತ ಪ್ರದೇಶವಾಗಿ ಅದು ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So like this, Pondicherry had integrated to India. Next move on, another state, that is Goa. Then how Goa had integrated to India, as we discussed in first lesson, isn't it? Europeans arrived to India. The Goa, we heard the name of Goa, isn't it? Yes. So Goa became one of the administrative center for Portuguese. And who is Portuguese? Yes, Portuguese were the first European country to arrive to India. It means who found sea to India? It is none other than Vasco da Gama. So basically Vasco da Gama, he was from Portuguese. When he found New Sea to India, Europeans arrived to our country. Then Goa, the first Europeans arrived to India, that is Portuguese. So Portuguese main administrative center, that is Goa. Here, after the first nation arrived to India, Portuguese, and the last nation left from the India, that is Portuguese. As I told while I was teaching about Portuguese, ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲು ಬಂದವರು ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್, ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಹೋದವರೇ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಸನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಎಸ್. Then how Goa integrated to India? Because Portuguese, they were not at all ready to move from the Goa. ಅಂದರೆ ಗೋವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿನೇ ಇರ್ತಾಯಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಮೊನಾಪೊಲಿ ಆನ್ ಗೋವಾ. ಅಂದರೆ ಗೋವಾನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಅಂಡರ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅ ಸಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೋವಾ. In the year 1947, August 15th, we got freedom. But after independent India, the Portuguese had continued their trade and monopoly over to Goa. They are not at all ready to leave from Goa. ಅಂದರೆ ಗೋವಾನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿನೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So that a sustained movement was held to protest against the Portuguese because to occupation of the Goa. The later on here, Portuguese were brought like army from the Africa and as well as Europe tried to consolidate their power over Goa. ಯಾವಾಗ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದೇ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಯುರೋಪ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಗೋವಾ. ನಾವು ಗೋವಾನ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ವಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1955 ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ವರ್ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ army from Africa and as well as Europe because to control Goa. The later on Satyagraha was started all over India in the year 1955 because ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಭಾರತ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರು ಹೆಂಗಾರು ಮಾಡಿ ಗೋವಾನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. The Indian military entered to Goa in the year 1961 and later on Portuguese had left from the Goa in the year 1961. So here 1498 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ್ಕೋ ಡಿ ಗಾಮ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸಿ ರೂಟ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೌದಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ in the year 1498 Vasco da Gama was found sea route to India. They were the first arrived to India and as well as Portuguese were the last nation to left from India. In the year 1961 Portuguese left from the Goa. So later on Goa had remained as a union territory until 1987. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 1961ವರೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು, 1961ಗೆ ಗೋವಾನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ 1987 ಗೋವಾ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ರಿಮೇನ್ ಆಸ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ. ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ 1961 ಅಂದರೆ 1987 ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. So like this Goa had to integrate it to India. Basically Goa Before independent, it was one of the important administrative center for Portuguese. But when India got freedom, they had continued their power to Goa. ಅಂದರೆ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಪವರ್ನ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದೆ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಲೀವ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಭಾರತವನ್ನು ಗೋವಾನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿನೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1955 when Indian military when they started. Portuguese were brought army from Africa and Europe. And later on, Indian military army had entered to Goa in the year 1961. Later on, Portuguese they had to left from Goa. So from 1961 to 1987, Goa became as a union territory, and later on it became as a state. So like this, Goa had to integrate it to India. Next, move on. This is the last topic from this lesson, that is reorganization of states based on the languages. Then how Indian states were formed after independent India on the basis of languages. Here, the language based formation of states demand the present during the ruling of British time. And here, after the independence of India, the demand became more several across the country. Basically, India is called the motherland of many religions. Here, the different kinds of languages and different kinds of people speaking the different languages, they split across the country. The Indian government, it was one of the challenge for Indian government to brought together as one speaking language. They had to create a state, the formation of the state based on the languages. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂತ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಲೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಮೋರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸವರಲ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ basically India is called the motherland of many languages. Here different kinds of people were speaking different languages. Then so that India, it was one of the challenge for Indian government, they brought together as formation of the state based on the languages. ಅದು ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಭಾಷಾವಾರು ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So basically British government and as well as regional government, they never used local languages in their administration. ಅಂದರೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಆಡಳಿತದ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಆಗಿರಲಿ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ದೇ ನೆವರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ local languages. The later on after independent India, it was one of the challenge for the government to formation of the state based on the languages. Now one of the leader, and later here one of the leader had strike because for the formation of Vishalandra. His name Potti Sriramulu. So Potti Sriramulu had a demand to formation of Vishalandra. He was strike, hunger free strike for 54 days. ಅಂದರೆ 54 days ಅಂದರೆ 54 ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಉಪವಾಸ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಶಾಲಾಂಧ್ರ. His demand, one of the political leader of Andhra Pradesh or less Vishalandra. So his demand to formation of the state based on the languages, so that he was hunger strike for 54 days because for Vishalandra. Then after death of Potti Sriramulu, ಅಂದರೆ ಪೊಟ್ಟಿ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮುಲು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದರೆ 54 ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಉಪವಾಸ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ? ವಿಶಾಲಾಂಧ್ರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ 54 ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಒಂದು ಉಪವಾಸ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ದ ಲೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಡೆತ್ ಆಫ್ Potti Sriramulu, this demand has increased more across the Andhra Pradesh, so that here the demand language based state reorganization went up. As a result, Vishal Andhra, it means Andhra Pradesh, was formed in the year 1953. So when Potti Sriramulu had strike because for Vishalandra, then after death of the Potti Sriramulu, this demand has become more in Vishalandra. The later on, the first state was formed in India, that is Vishalandra, in the year 1953. So in the year 1953, the first state was formed in India, that is Vishalandra. So as a result, Andhra Pradesh was formed in the year 1953. The later on, In the same year, in the 1953, a committee was formed. That committee we call Reorganization of State Commission based on the languages. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಮಿಟಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ based on the languages. That committee president here, Mr. Fazal Ali. So Mr. Fazal Ali was the president of Reorganization of State Commission, and as well as K.M. Panikkar and as well as H.N. Kunju. H.N. Kunju and K.M. Panikkar were member of Reorganization of State Commission. So when Reorganization of State Commission was formed in the year 1953, in the same year which state was formed, Vishalandra. So who was the president of Reorganization of State Commission? That is Mr. Fazal Ali. So Mr. Fazal Ali was the president of Reorganization of State Commission, and their members, other committee members, Panikkar and as well as Kunju. So K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunju were the member of the Reorganization of State Commission. So according to this commission, as based on this report, the commission had submitted the report to government. So Reorganization Act was brought into effect. According to this act, 14 states and 6 union territories were formed in the year 1953. At the time, how many states were formed? 14 states and 6 union territories were formed. So according to Reorganization of State based on the languages, so according to this act, they made a report. So according to this committee, how many states were formed? 14 states and 6 union territories were formed. So this is the concept, the reorganization of state based on the languages. And next here, Karnataka. Here, Kannada speaking regions were part of the various state. They were split all over India. So they brought together as a formation of state based on the languages. As we know, October 14th, 1947. So October 14th, 1947, Mysore state was formed. Isn't it? Yes, Mysore state came into existence in the year 1947, October 14th. The later, the demand had increased. The demand here to integrated Kannada speaking people brought together in one state. ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂಥ ಜನನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದುಗೂಡಿಸಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಪರಿಷತ್. ಆಲ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಪರಿಷತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಒಂದು ಸಂಘ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡವನ್ನು ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂಥ ಜನರನ್ನು ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅದು ಯಾವುದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಪರಿಷತ್. ದೇ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಟು ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಇನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜನ್ನು ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂಥ ಜನರನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದುಗೂಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಫೈನಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1956, so in the year 1956, so in the year 1956, November 1st, Mysore state became Vishala Mysore state. So in the year 1956, November 1st, Mysore state became Vishala Mysore state. And the later in the year 1973, November 1st, Mysore state had become renamed as a Karnataka. At present in India, there are 28 states, 9 union territories, including New Delhi. Here again also repeating here, in the year 1947, October 14th, Mysore state was formed. And later on, many Kannadigas were demand here the formation of the state based on the Kannada language, because those who are speaking Kannada language, the split all over India, their intention to brought together the formation of one state based on the language, that is Kannada language. ಭಾಷೆ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಪರಿಷತ್. ದ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. Then later here in the year 1956, November 1st. So in the year 1956, November 1st, Vishala Mysore state came into existence. It means Mysore state became Vishala Mysore state in the year 1956, November 1st. And later on, 1973, November 1st, Vishala Mysore state became Karnataka state. At present in India, there are 28 states, 9 union territories, including one capital city, that is New Delhi. So by this concept, today we have completed another most important lesson from history part, that is post-independent of India. So thank you and have a nice day.